So as you can see, it's divided into parts. So this particular trailer focused solely upon the historic part. What's up, Alfonso Nation? It's Alfonso Peterman here today, and welcome to another episode of my Approaching TF5 series. This is simply a series where I discuss all the facts and rumors in regards to the upcoming Transformers The Last Night film. This is episode number 68, and in this episode, I'm going to be doing a breakdown of the Transformers The Last Night secret history trailer that was just recently released. Right before the 4th and right after the 3rd. Right in between. So I'm going to do a scene-by-scene breakdown because in this particular trailer, there was so much that was actually revealed. Like, I don't think you guys understand how much was revealed through it. But I think they still wanted to release it because even though it's a lot of, like, intense plot details that they're revealing, you won't know because you don't know what anything means. You don't know what anything represents. So in this video, I'm going to break down some things and point out some key elements of this particular trailer. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so basically the trailer starts off with a scene of, obviously, the room. It is the famous room that everyone's talking about, and it's filled with historical artifacts and images and memorabilia. I would probably say this is possibly like a secret basement room that Edmund Burton keeps all of these treasures in. You know, you got pictures, you got busts, you know, you got globes, you have microscopes, I think. You got a bunch of desk lamps. You have a fireplace in the back. And of course, the huge thing sticking out like a sore thumb, it is the Dark of the Moon control pillar. So I think this could possibly be the same room where you see Cockman descending into, and you see Edmund Burton right after him, right behind him. They're going into some sort of room. I think that room could possibly be this room right here, where all the secret, hidden, top secret, confidential stuff is kept. I also think the reason why they're going down into the basement is because they're trying to show Kate Yeager this room. They're trying to show him the history, all the memorabilia, paraphernalia, all the pictures and historical things that they have recorded to show him that, you know, this is serious, you know, this is real. And then you have a close-up shot of the wall. You have an Optimus Prime enemy poster at the top right. We've seen that before, of course, with the drone, the TRF drone. And of course, we have the Bumblebee on an army poster. So he's on there. He's in the bottom right. He's like under Optimus Prime. And you have the largest poster of Hound. It says, "Don't dream of victory. Fight for it. Join the army now." So that's an army promo poster, which is very interesting because this is a promo for humans to join the army. However, you got a Transformer. So are they really robots in disguise? Are they even in disguise? You begin to raise question about that because you see them at just like publicly being promoted here. So you have no idea what could possibly be going on with that. And then you have Archibald with Wiki. Sam Witwicky's ancestor on the Explorers magazine. So you got a lot of stuff going on. And on the left corner, you see a mini robotic statue. Now, I believe this is a preformed version of Bumblebee, before Bumblebee gets his, you know, Camaro mode, and even before he gets his Volkswagen mode, or even his Mercedes. I think this is Bumblebee at the very beginning, because in Transformers 2007, we got to see the Autobots before they actually took upon the human vehicle form. We saw Optimus Prime when he was taking off running. We saw Ironhide when he came out of the pool. We saw Jazz when he was looking at the car dealership. So, but we didn't see Bumblebee because he was already in his vehicle mode. He was already in his human mode. So this could possibly be what he looked like prior to that transition. So that's what I think. It's like a preform of Bumblebee. And then you have portraits of important human contributors to the Transformers history all on this wall. All this stuff is in that same room. That's so crazy. It's just like cluttered, hoarded with a bunch of memorabilia. And then you see Edmund Burton touching the seal, as you see all the time. Same shot for the third trailer you got over here with him looking around. You have another kind of a shot of the same seal, but it looks like it's on maybe like a breastplate of a soldier. I think it's on the breastplate. It looks like it's on like a breast or like the arm. It looks like it's on the arm part of the soldier's armor, and you can see like almost like the meshed metallic arm cover. And I think that it really actually is a soldier because number one, it moves, and number two, you see in the next shot, he's grabbing the Excalibur from the round table. It's like he's picking up the Excalibur for them to do that extension, as you've seen in the third trailer. And then you got the epic, I mean, the part that I just want to see in IMAX so bad. You got the epic medieval battleground. You have fireballs and explosions going off all over the place. It's a very intense battle. I mean, these soldiers are not kidding around. You can see that number one, the Cybertronian knights are going to be present during this time period, because you see them with the knights of the round table extending their swords. So they're going to be around. They're around. They've been around. They have been here forever. And of course, you see the same shot from previous promos. And then it transitions into a historic image of Drift with samurai soldiers. The body sculpt of Drift is more aged, and it reflects that time frame. You see, it doesn't have the same as Age of Extinction. It looks more like an aged version of Drift. Now, this particular image of Drift is very interesting because we can conclude two specific things about this image. Number one thing we can conclude is that with each specific Transformer, I don't care if it's Autobot or Decepticon, they are basically, like when you go back into history, you'll see that they relate to what they appear to be. Like, for example, Drift, it appears to be an Asian samurai soldier. So, of course, in history, he's going to be with Asian samurai soldiers. And that goes with every other character. So, the character of the Transformer reflects the history of that Transformer. That's one thing we can conclude. The second thing we can conclude is that the alt modes, obviously, are going to be a whole lot different. So, as we watch this film, and as we look at the history of the Transformers in this film, you can conclude that there's going to be an evolution of alternative modes with each Transformer, because, you know, as time progresses, technology progresses, and, you know, vehicles, you know, transportation, automobiles, they all progress. So these Transformers have to progress and evolve with the times. So that's two things we can conclude for sure about this image. You see him sitting there with samurai human soldiers. One of the soldiers has a flag with a symbol on it, so that shows that he's actually fighting to protect a certain faction. So they have a logo. They have a logo to signify their particular affiliation. They are on a team, fighting against another team. So you can see how Drift is not just fighting for humans, he's fighting for certain humans. And that goes with a lot of other Transformers as well. And then you got Drift on the right, and you have a samurai Autobot on the left. So this is what I was saying. You see, there is an evolution of body sculpts, alt modes, as time progresses. So I personally don't know if this is both Drift, but I'm pretty sure it is. But Drift could have a twin or a partner that aids him in battle. That is extremely plausible, extremely possible. So these are the two different versions of Drift that we're looking at here. And then you see the Knights of Cybertron fighting in an ancient battle. Now this particular one is so important. This is, oh my gosh, I can't believe they put this in the trailer. But this is the battle. The Knights of Cybertron versus the humans. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, I literally broke down this entire thing. And so if you don't follow me, I'm going to just basically read what I put, because I know I laid it out perfectly. So I want to read that specifically. But yes, this is very significant. So what you see here in this particular image is the original image. It's stored in British archives of the Norman conquest of England in the 11th century. That's what this image represents. Now this image is Sir Edmund Burton's image. It's the same identical event, except with the Knights of Cybertron involved. So here's the explanation. In the year of 1066, England was being conquered through the Norman conquest which was led by William, Duke of Normandy. So basically, the Knights of Cybertron fought alongside William to gain possession of an ancient Cybertronian relic on English territory that could grant them unbelievable powers, according to the Transformers 5 plot. This image here with the Cybertronian Knights is the authentic image, and the previous image, this one here, is the fabricated image. The story was fabricated in an attempt to remove the known history of the Transformers with the humans. 1,000 years we've kept it hidden to protect Earth from what was destined to arrive. So you can see that, you know, there's a lot of history going on with the Knights of Cybertron and the actual events of history. Transformers Last Night meshes our current known history and the Transformers history, and they intertwine, which is why they have Rethink the Past, because they want you to rethink the origin, rethink the history, rethink the beginning of everything or anything, rethink the birth. So that is what this image represents. Now the next image you see is literally probably the most important image and most significant image in this entire trailer. This is Hot Rod and the Order of the Witwickens. Okay, let me just break this down for y'all because I know it's a little odd. Number one, the Witwickens obviously is the ancestors of Sam Witwicky. They are a line of individuals who did specific things to aid in the overall evolution of the Transformers on planet Earth. Okay, but you see Hot Rod there, and you see something that says the Order of the Witwickens. So when this particular image is explained, this is going to tell you a lot about Sam Witwicky. It's going to reveal the true identity of Sam Witwicky. Who was Sam Witwicky? I don't think Sam even knew who he was, because he thought he was discovered, or he was important. I'm sorry, he was important because of Archibald Witwicky. You see, Sam is not relevant because of Archibald Witwicky and his glasses and Megatron's navigation system. That's not what made Sam important. This is what made him important, because he was a descendant of the Witwickens. You guys are still, I know it's a lot of history. I feel like I'm teaching a history class, but this is why Sam was important. So also, the reason why I say this is one of the most important images is because of Sir Edmund Burton. Okay, Sir Edmund Burton is the final member of the Order of the Witwickens. He is a descendant of the Order of the Witwickens, so he knows everything about the Witwickens, what they did, why they were important. The dude he knows everything. So Edmund Burton knows everything about the past. Okay, he's like the librarian for Transformers, and Hot Rod was placed there. And of course they put him in the trailer because they want to show you that Hot Rod has been around. Even though we haven't seen him in all 4 movies, he's still been around. And he's still been doing some very important things and key things for the overall advancement of the Transformers, of the Autobots, and the fulfillment of certain prophecies that is going to be fulfilled in this movie. So that's all I can say for that. But that is like literally, oh god, that they put that in the trailer. Okay, next picture we see Hound, and we see some soldiers in a wintry forest, and they're got some on the horses, you got some on foot, and you got Hound with his nice, looks like a cape. I guess he has a big coat on, and he's ordering them. It's like he's directing them to go a certain direction, and they are following. So what this basically is, the soldiers of Peru and Bolivia. So these particular soldiers you see in this image is Peru and Bolivia, according to what I've been told. Okay, I'm not just making this stuff up. To be exiled from a large portion of their original territory. So this is an exile. This is a banishment. They're not going to war. They're coming back from war. They have been defeated. They've been exiled after being conquered by Chile during the War of the Pacific in 1883. Hound fought alongside Chile, and he was always an imperialist, looking to fight for territories. Hound was an imperialist, and if you don't know what that means, it means that like an imperialist is someone who wants to go and declare a territory as theirs. That's how Hound is. Hound likes to take territory. He wants to take land. So that's who Hound was, and that's what this was. This was Hound telling these soldiers, you lost, get out. Go. And that's what basically this represents. See, these soldiers they have no option but to go because they lost the battle. So that is what you see in that image, and then it changes into, oh yeah, it quickly transitions into a very important image that I think a lot of people missed. This is probably something that a lot of people missed. In this particular shot, you have what looks like Queen Elizabeth in a portrait, and you have also a Megatron bust, which I would buy, by the way. And also, but this is what I think people missed. In this particular art piece on the left-hand side, you can literally see what appears to be Shockwave standing near some smoke. And you also see either Hot Rod or Crosshairs also in the background. And you see a village of people in total disarray and distress. And you see Shockwave. So Shockwave is even known to be here for a long, long time, okay? So it's really difficult to make out the image, but that's what it appears to be. And if that is the case, then we got a lot to talk about Shockwave, because this guy was terrorizing colonies and villages since the very beginning of colonization. And then it transitions into an Abraham Lincoln shot, and then you got Bulldog in World War I, and then you got a shot of Frederick Douglass, who's, by the way, let me tell you, he's doing such a great job. He's doing so well. He's doing such a fantastic job, let me tell you that. I'll tell you that.
Frederick Douglass is an example of somebody who's done an amazing job and is being recognized more and more, I notice.
And then you have a volcanic eruption with Megatron seemingly falling backwards. Or he's either like rejoicing, you know, he's celebrating, or he's happy that he actually caused the eruption. And then in the next scene, which is my favorite scene of the entire trailer, is you got the epic scene with the Cybertronian knights walking up to the round table. And I love that little sound, the little, I think it's like the graveyard bell sound that they added into it. It was like, they have been here forever. It was just perfect.
They have been here forever.
It was just perfect. It was just perfect. Everything about this thing is perfect. And then you have the conclusion of that assembly, and then it cuts to like a really long shot of, you see astronaut footsteps from Dark of the Moon on the moon, and it pans up to a longer glimpse of the Ark's destruction. Now after seeing this, I am more than convinced that this is Cybertron. This is Cybertron on its way to Earth, and on its way to Earth, it crosses the path of the moon, and it starts to scrape over the moon, and because the Ark happens to land on the moon, it destroys the Ark in the process. And then it fades into this cool little scene with Sir Edmund Burton just like sitting down. He's just so classy, I like it. And then you got the classic Mercedes drive up to Blenheim Palace during the Nazi era. And then you see that same Mercedes, which is Bumblebee, by the way. We already know that, but it's Bumblebee. He transforms and he ambushes the Nazis with the Allied troops. Now, the reason why I say this is an ambush is because when you see him drive up initially, everything is at a calmer state. Nobody's like holding any guns to him. Nobody's like, you know, running up to him or running from him. When he drives up, everything's cool, right? Everything's cool. They're just having their normal assembly. He's in disguise. But then he breaks his disguise, and you can also see on the right hand side when he's transforming, if you slow it down, you can see a flare from a gun. So they're now shooting at him. So they're now realizing, oh my god, this is not just a car, this is a transformer, and he's gonna probably kill us all, so we need to start shooting at him. Kind of like what they did with you know, in the first movie with Blackout. You see, they all had their guns up to him, but they didn't start shooting because they didn't realize it was actually a transformer until he started transforming. And he just goes nuts. He just lights them all up. He starts shooting on both sides, and of course that brings this epic wallpaper of Bumblebee that was released recently. And then you got the Prime Rusty statue. Looks like it's from Prime 1 Studio. And what I believe is a pre-shot, a pre-form of Bumblebee. So that's what I think. And of course you have the amazing title sequence, Rethink the Freaking Past. So that is the trailer, folks. I am actually really shocked that they revealed a lot of this stuff, but I am glad that, you know, this particular trailer highlights one specific part of the film, because if you look at it, the movie is divided into multiple parts. You got, you know, the historic part, and then you got the, you know, the Nazi era part, like the World War type part, and then they have, you know, the current day part. You know, you got all this crazy stuff happening, you got all the fights and stuff, and then you got the final battle at the very end, the massive climax, the conclusion. So as you can see, it's divided into parts. So this particular trailer focused solely upon the historic part, and I personally loved it. So yeah, guys, that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed this breakdown and learned quite a bit of things from it. If you did, drop a like on the video, show me some support. I'm trying to grow my channel, as you already know. And if you haven't subscribed, if you are new, please subscribe, support me, support what I do. I would highly appreciate it. And yes, guys, that's about it for today. Thank you for watching. My name is Alfonso, and I will see you in my next video. Peace out from the deep south.